Hey guys, and welcome to our review of Us, directed by Jordan Peele, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, among others. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Phil Clark.
And Alan Fraser is also in this movie, guys.
He is.
Oh,
yeah.
the GOAT.
Yeah.
The GOAT, Mr. Alan Fraser.
He's back.
And Tyler Switolski.
Glad to be here.
Wow.
You look crisp today.
Yeah?
I like it. I do like it. No, I'm being serious.
Big
I
burn.
can't.
And Adam Franey is
I'm
also
wearing a
joining
hoodie.
us.
I can't believe
Glad you can make it.
what I've seen in the pictures is now real.
Crazy, right?
He's here, man.
I'm back.
Us, Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out.
Mm.
Goes a little something like this. A family's vacation turns to chaos when a group of doppelgangers begin to terrorize them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's spooky.
Quite spooky.
Mm.
Trailers were quite scary.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't see
the people said that. People said that.
Not you, though.
Scary.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think it was scary.
Right. You're unscared.
Ty, let's start with you. What did you think about Us?
As people.
Like Us.
How long do you...
How do you feel about Us?
Why are you guys doing this to me?
I just want to put you on
no.
the spot. I can confirm he saw the movie. I watched
He
him
did.
watch it. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you watch the movie, or did you just stare at him the whole
No,
time?
I didn't see it because
No.
I had to make sure that he was watching. But
Smart.
Sorry.
Smart.
Go ahead, please.
I felt like this was a very good follow-up to Get Out.
Very good.
I'd say it's very good. I would not say it is as good
Ooh.
as Get Out.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Get out.
Guys, it's us. All right, I can level with you guys. It was good. But I didn't find it nearly as scary as Get Out. Like nearly as thrilling as Get Out.
Thrilling, scary.
Yeah,
Really
like it had more. I actually found there was actually quite a few jump scares in this, which you didn't get as many in Get Out.
Yeah.
And so
Few
that
times, few
yeah, I didn't like that as much. I
Jumpy?
felt like
Jumpy?
it was beneath them almost.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I watching Get Out last year, it was 2 years ago.
2016, I think it was.
No.
2017.
2017.
I forget what year it is. It was 2 years ago, though.
2017.
I remember just watching Get Out and just being just generally scared. But
More
watching-
psychological horror,
yeah,
right?
Very
Instead of the
fitting.
jumps. I mean,
Yeah.
there were jumps in Get Out.
you think so?
A few, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You remember that, like,
I
deer
don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
And like him running, and then
The
the hard
dodge.
cut,
Yeah.
the hard
Whoa!
cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Combine run.
The jumps were a little
40
more noticeable.
They were more,
this
like,
film.
well done.
They're more
Yeah.
jumpy.
Yeah.
Did you physically jump?
No.
I didn't see.
No.
Yeah.
You didn't see if he saw them.
He was like a corpse, I guess.
Yeah. Just
Yeah. That's what he's like.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, I thought it was good, just not as good,
Good,
as Get Out.
not excellent.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
riveting.
Great.
That's riveting.
Phil, what are your thoughts about us?
About us?
It never gets
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like this all episode.
I want to talk about us.
I did not love Get Out. I was not the
Not
biggest
what I
fan.
asked.
What a curveball.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to explain myself. So I didn't love it. I thought it was good. Everybody was like, Get
I'm not
Out's
talking about it.
amazing.
We're talking about us.
Yeah.
Funny.
So when I went to see Us, I had like not lower expectations, but I was like trying to be as open minded as I could. But still
Right,
being like, I wasn't that impressed with
Get out.
Get Out.
No,
Us,
I'm
however,
saying, please get out. I love
Was
Get Out.
very good.
Really?
Us.
Thoroughly enjoyed Us.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, I thought it was dark, like you said. There was more typical jump scares, but it also had that like Jordan Peele balance of like he's a comedian and he does horror movies. Like it was funny at
There were
times.
some funny moments.
There were some horror moments. I thought this like the concept of the whole the whole narrative was like very well done, well thought out. It wasn't just like I felt like it was more engaging than Get Out. It felt like more of like a passion project for Jordan Peele. Like I could see
Deeper?
the dad. No, I could see like how he like how the dad resembled him in real life, like this big bumbly black dude who's like very charismatic.
He
very
felt Jordan,
joking.
like he felt
Oh,
like
yeah.
Jordan Peele.
And
I
so, like,
instantly thought that.
For him to
yeah.
tell like that story from the, like the perspective that he does tell it from, I was
Right.
like, this is really cool. Like you can always tell he's thought about this a lot, and like that character felt so much like Jordan Peele that I was like, wow, it's really cool that he's able to tell this story this way. I really liked it. I was thoroughly engaged the whole time. Very much enjoyed it. I might have to go back and watch Get Out again. 'Cause
No,
I
please
didn't
do.
love it.
You said you were engaged the whole time. You didn't think like halfway through, a little towards the end, there was some fat that could have been trimmed. somewhere towards like
No.
the...
Fat.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I thought it. I don't think it was.
Actually,
I don't think it needed to be like.
You thought there was some fat.
I did. I thought there was a couple
Like the
parts
women?
where it was like in between the second and the third act where it was just like it felt like it was dragging on a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, not like in a I'm gonna say not in a bad way, but it wasn't like in a,
dragged in a good way.
Without getting into too many spoilers, I
Yeah.
could feel like it was turning, but it wasn't like. For example, a movie I thought about, like it wasn't like A Quiet Place, where at the very end of A Quiet Place it just kind of turns and it's like,
yeah,
we're gonna be
a quick
okay.
reveal.
This was kind of like a slow turn into like
Yeah.
the end of the movie, which I didn't mind. I enjoyed the like process of it. I
Okay.
enjoyed the whole experience.
Oh.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was fat. I thought it was nice and thick, as the kids say.
Stupid.
Adam, what are your thoughts about us?
Well, we've been doing this podcast a long time. I tolerate you guys. I wouldn't call you friends.
We didn't talk about.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Get Out. So
Get Out.
a little weird film. I was very much anticipating this follow-up by Mr. Pele.
Pele.
Peely, I think it
Peely?
is how you say
Pile.
it.
Mr. Peely's follow-up. Didn't even see a trailer, not on purpose. Just
Yeah, I didn't.
happened to not catch a trailer. So there's that.
I saw one recently, like weirdly.
It wasn't
recently.
playing in front of any of the movies we saw recently.
Weird, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to
It's
see it
weird.
online. It wasn't. Maybe it was just the type of movies that were coming out
Not
lately.
horror,
I don't know. Yeah.
right? I agree with Phil. I'd say I thoroughly enjoyed it, start to finish. I was like completely engaged. No phone check to check the time. No like
Oh,
space outs. Like I was.
you would do that though?
No.
How dare
But
you.
I mean, I assume that's. I'm trying to relate to the plebs, right?
Right,
Is that
right.
something people do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It never lost my focus, for better or worse. I was just like fully tuned in. I will say I didn't love it quite as much as Get Out on a first viewing, but I think that could change because I think Get Out was very palatable and very smooth going down. Like I feel like it's very mass appeal.
Nice smoky aroma as well.
Yes.
Hints of sandalwood.
Full
Yeah.
body flavor.
And
Good mouth.
and Us, I think, was a little bit more chewy, way more to chew on.
Jerky almost.
Yes.
A little bit more bite.
Yeah, you know.
So you're saying
it
there's
bites
some
back.
A little
Hang.
snap.
There's
Some
some
hang
fat
on the
is what
tongue.
you're saying.
Yeah, you could chew the fat.
There we
In
go.
a great way. Yeah, it's hard. Like, I don't want to give away any spoilers because it's pretty twisty. There's a couple twists in this bad boy. I'll just say it was a white knuckle thriller, and I was like completely engaged. Thought all the performances were good, characters were good, deep story. Like when when I thought it was like wrapped up with a bow, like you said, they kind of hit you with the swerve, the peel swerve, and
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, I think that it was pretty good.
Oh.
I didn't love it.
Ooh.
It's like I almost like wanted more. I don't know.
In what
But-
way? Like a longer runtime, more, or like
A deeper
Maybe I
dive.
wanted it to be more terrifying. Like the
Yeah.
way they dealt with the sort of the doppelgangers and that whole thing. I didn't find it as terrifying as it could have been. You know, there's certain moments in Get Out. I love Get Out. I don't know. It's the psychological horror element, right? And you get some of that with Lupita Nyong'o's character and her backstory, but I don't know. I wanted more.
Doesn't have that same hit like that.
I wanted to get
Get
like
Out
fucked up. I wanted Jordan Peele to fuck me up, and I was like,
fuck me up,
just
Jordan.
fuck me up, man. And it didn't quite get to that height. Maybe the expectations were too high. I don't know. It felt like interestingly enough, it felt kind of like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
Right, which is funny because he's hosting the new Twilight Zone.
Definitely.
So I think that's a perfect fit there. But yeah, I don't know. It just felt like the story that we got felt like it would have fit on a show, like a TV show.
I agree with that.
Not necessarily a knock, but just something interesting there. Performances were great. I thought Winston Duke was pretty hilarious
Very funny.
Yeah.
as the dad. Lupita Nyong'o did an amazing job doing, heavy lifting with both of those roles.
Didn't even recognize it was her in the beginning, like just because of her hair. Like I've only ever seen her with like the short hair, like the.
It's a young girl.
Oh,
it's
you
not
mean
the
just
same
in
actor.
general?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the doppelganger. Like you didn't recognize.
No,
that
no,
was her.
I didn't recognize that
Again?
the actress in the beginning was Lupita
Like the
Nyong'o.
child.
The little girl.
No, you idiot!
That wasn't her. That was another actor.
Damn it!
Her range is just
Phenomenal.
She played that little
my
girl as
God.
well.
the de-aging.
Crazy. They spent a lot of money on that. Looks great. The de-aging there.
It looks real.
But I love the opening though. I love that flashback sequence. That was fantastic.
I thought that was pretty
I
terrifying.
thought that was done quite well.
Yeah.
I think just as it developed and some of the horror elements that come in, it almost had more of a comedic element vibe that I
You
was
can
getting
tell
from
he's
it.
good at comedy with like the timing and some of the stuff. So it's not just like the comedy stuff, but the horror stuff too. It's like
Maybe it was because some of the kids, like some of the doppelganger kids, are like that. I wish they didn't scare me. You know
They're
what
a
I
little
mean?
goofy.
Yeah.
Like the.
They're more like
Yeah.
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't quite get me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to me, it was
that's
just
a good
like
way of putting it.
he was just a dumb kid, right? Like if you think about it, he
Yeah,
was just
dumb
a
fucking
kid that was dumb. Like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't scary.
Yeah.
He was a dumb kid. He
Fuck
was a
that
kid that was
just a,
dumb.
just a stupid.
No, because he
kid.
said it's just some dumb kid. No, but he was really just a dumb kid. Like if he came
I
at
get it,
you,
he's dumb.
just kick him in the face.
No.
Like
Yeah, you would have fucked that kid up,
Right.
right?
it just he wasn't. There was no supernatural element to it. There was no psycho thriller element to it. It was just like he was just a kid.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
as well, we'll
I
get
mean,
into the
that is
twist. I don't know.
Who was dumb.
It was okay. The twist was okay.
Just
I
okay.
saw this. I mean, there's going to be multiple twists. Let's be honest, right? The second twist, I think we all know. I saw that coming like a mile away.
A mile away?
I don't know
A mile
which one
away.
you're
I'm
talking
like,
about.
oh, obviously this.
I didn't
Like, from
see
how
it coming
early?
a mile away, but I could like
A good.
You could
a
tell
good
that something
15
was
minutes
going on.
before it was revealed.
You could tell that like something was.
I
Going
saw
on.
the seeds.
The
you know?
last.
Yeah,
the
there's
last
lots
one?
of seeds in there.
Like the last reveal.
The big
I
one.
guess.
The big one.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the film.
I think.
So
The film.
I got it about 4 minutes before she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Like I got it like
No, it's
right
just like-
before.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that was it. I don't know. It was okay.
Really? I'll say I liked it.
I liked it too.
Like
not
the
so
twist,
much. Not so much
specific.
for like the twist, but also like how they dealt with it after. Because I think we can get into it more later. But.
See,
we'll get into
Yeah.
it.
See, I think there's a better way they could have done it.
I just want to be more terrified by it. Like I get there's something to sort of unpackage from that
Is
reveal.
that how you unpackage things?
right?
That take you forever.
It's an
Yeah.
onion.
I do this.
Very
right?
synchronized.
Boomerang that.
I just wanted to be scared more. I don't know, like Annihilation terrified. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Fuck.
that
You wanted
kind
the bear.
That kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like this, I was just like, oh, okay, that was
Too
I don't know.
human, maybe?
maybe. I don't know.
You're like, I could
He
fuck
didn't fuck me up.
3 of these people up.
Yeah, right.
He didn't fuck me
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
But that being said,
That
like,
writing chick. Shit,
I
she's
didn't hate
stupid.
it. I'm just sort of explaining why I didn't love it.
Right.
Let's give our ratings and we can get into some spoiler talk. I'm gonna hit it with heavy 3.
I'm gonna go heavy 4. I really like
Ooh.
this.
Gonna have a spectrum here.
I'm gonna go 3.
What?
You liked it.
You said heavy 3.
You liked
It's
it the
literally-
You
least.
just said there was a little too much fat.
I don't know.
You liked it
The
the
more I
most.
talked to you, Scott, actually, I just figured, like, you know what? I didn't love it as much as I
Oh
thought
shit!
I
I
did.
talked you down.
Yeah.
Oh, don't let him talk you down.
No, you
man.
did.
Come on.
I was thinking about, like, I'm comparing it to, like,
I was like-
exactly Get Out, and I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like he was much better with the first film.
I'm going
you
to
know
give it a 4. Not a light or heavy, just a 4.
Just a 4 to 5.
I
Well,
enjoyed it a lot.
fair warning: if you haven't seen us,
Check us out on YouTube.
Subscribe.
like.
like,
You
comment,
can like us on
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, Craft Pundit.
Not anymore, probably, after that joke.
spoiler warning. You've been warned. The
Nobody's
movie
watching
Us. First twist, I guess. I mean, we can sort of unwrap the.
Break it down,
We
Scott.
can you know.
Unravel, if you will.
So basically, I mean, I guess the beauty of it, and I mean, Jordan Peele has made some comments about this, that he knows the entire backstory mythology of like the tethered and all this stuff.
Classic.
And he was sort of trying to, grapple with how much to reveal to the audience, right? And as you guys obviously know, not a lot, borderline nothing is revealed about how or why. You get a little bit of sort of
The why.
explanation, some exposition there from Red, which I guess is the name of Lupita Nyong'o's doppelganger, about how there was some government program and there were people that were tethered to other people.
I don't know. I just thought like a weaker movie would have got more into like the tethered and like how to beat the tethered.
Exactly.
And, like, I was glad that he didn't
I
like.
love that he didn't.
He kind of
explain
pulled
it.
that punch and was like, no, like the story isn't about the tethered.
It's
It's
not
about
right.
these two people, these
Right.
two the doppelgangers, which I was
I agree with
happy with too.
I almost wouldn't be surprised if they did an episode on Twilight Zone, like explaining the tethered.
Shit.
You know what I mean? And like,
That'd be
because
fun.
I think in
I'm
those
in.
same comments, he kind of was like, oh, we might explore it, or I don't know if he necessarily said that, but like he wants. There's
To
more
explore
there.
more?
There's more there.
There's-
So
yeah.
he could explore it potentially in the future. You never know. It might not. It
You
might
could
ruin it.
Put
you
it
know?
all on the Blu-ray when it gets released or something.
No, they might develop it and then realize it's too much, revealing too much. I don't know, but yeah. So, what do you guys think about that whole aspect? I know you said you
The
liked it.
tethered, yeah. I thought Elizabeth Moss's character was great, and like how Lupita
she was
Nyong'o,
pretty
I guess how Red is like different from the other tethered. Do you know what I mean? Like she has the ability to communicate and
Right.
like through gravel, I guess, but like she can still talk.
Switcheroo.
Which makes sense when you understand the second.
There's a flashback sequence where like before the second twist happens, Red's dancing and like as Lupita's character, whose name I completely forget, is also dancing, and like they're talking about how like Red is special and like she had the ballerina outfit on, and like we can get into that more later. But I liked how that kind of tied in with the second reveal, and was like that made sense. Like you didn't need it to enjoy the moment, but you could like see how the second twist like affects parts of the movie before, and you're like, oh, there's a lot of nuggets that he puts in there.
Yeah.
Going back over the film, it's like, oh, and like that, and like
Yeah.
that. It's like it's really
Sprinkled
it was
kind of
well
throughout.
thought out. I thought, which was I don't care if it blows my pants away with horror. I'm just like, give me something that's like tight and concise. Like this is my vision. This is what I want. I don't want to get into the tethered and why they're created and where they live and all that stuff. I just want to
Right.
tell a story, which is great.
Well said.
The one it's a balancing act because I think sometimes I don't know, I get caught up with like, well, that doesn't like make sense. Like, how does this supposed to work? Like what's the
Logically
logic
or
here,
whatever, Yeah.
right? And then I
for
kind
what?
of get caught up in that, and then I'm like, I don't like love this
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me.
It's like the
Am I
brakes are
stupid?
pumped. You're just like, okay, like they keep going, but you're like, no, but what about?
They're like, there's these
that?
people that are doppelgangers that are like controlling, or they are being controlled. Like, how does that work? And then they're on to the next thing. I'm like, no, wait, like I don't under. This
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
We circle back for a second.
Like, is it telepathic? Like, I don't comprehend this.
I mean, that reminded me a little
Like,
bit of
am I
Get
just
Out
stupid?
in how like the
But that was-
reveal.
But that was like the curtain was fully back on that, right?
yeah, but it's not like that makes like sense.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they just transfer their consciousness into the other people.
But there was, like-
possible, yeah.
I mean, that
That's
is
retarded.
that's like
Sorry.
there's some deniability there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that, like,
But it didn't bother me because like it's just a great movie and it's not
Right.
about that, right?
right.
That's how I felt with this. I was just like, okay, that's the one, like,
It's a balancing act, I guess. Right?
yeah.
I do like, on one hand, I'm like, I need more explanation. On the other hand, it's like I appreciate the, having the soft touch there with not revealing
Yeah.
too much.
Because I hate.
I get both sides.
I was like, the first tethered was so and so, and like then we get like a flashback to like
Yeah.
the 50s or something. And, like this is how they started. Like
Yeah.
the
Cold
tethered.
War project.
Yeah,
It's
like-
yeah.
I was like dreading that. I was
Yeah.
like, please God, whatever you do, don't
But-
do that.
But like, is there an underground compound that's the size of the entire Earth?
Right.
What's-
And there, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do.
like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something like that.
when
I'm
she starts
how-
walking through it, I'm like, What the fuck?
So every room, like the entire surface world,
Yeah.
is below ground. Like I don't understand.
Well, that's what they said
in
at the beginning,
scale.
right? They were like, oh,
Right.
there's millions of miles of unused tunnels
Tunnels.
underground, right?
Okay, but like what?
I mean, yeah.
Anyways.
Oof.
Anyways,
It's a
we're
horror
getting off
movie,
track.
So.
Any
It's a
any
lot.
other thoughts you guys have? Spoiler
Did you guys-
specifically?
Did you guys notice that, like,
Tell
as
us
she
about the
was?
fat.
Well, no, I'm
Chew
not
the
going to go.
fat.
I'm not going to go into the grizzled fat. But what I'll do is I will. There was one thing I noticed as she was killing these doppelgangers. She was almost like she was kind of like regressing a little bit. Like she
Yeah, I
was,
got that. She was acting kind of like one of the.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I had a thought, and they say like there's this lore that if you kill someone, it takes a part of your soul, right?
That's what some people say.
That's what some people say.
Right. Not that you would know about that.
Well,
Sure you
that's-
heard.
I've read that somewhere.
I think that was
That's book
what's
5
his
Harry
name?
Potter.
Yeah, Voldemort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumbledore. That's a
Yeah.
I think that
Horcrux.
was that's,
Continue. Yeah,
he
keep
turned that into a Horcrux.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. Okay, so like just watching her, like I was kind of thinking before the second reveal, like she's just kind of killing people. Like it seemed like she was almost like regressing herself, and then
Yeah.
the second reveal came out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Then it's not as
When she was going primal.
yeah.
So the second
Full
reveal, I'll explain
animal.
for the viewers, was essentially you learn that, Lupita, when that flashback at the beginning of the movie when you see Lupita Nyong'o
As a child.
as a child in the beach at Santa Cruz, she meets her young doppelganger. You learn in that moment that the doppelganger basically switches place
Mhm.
with her, and that Lupita Nyong'o's character gets put in this underground tunnel warehouse facility, and basically goes insane, and the doppelganger
Gets to live.
gets to have a life and has a
Real life.
family and all that jazz. So it's interesting what he's trying to say, I guess, about nature versus nurture is the obvious thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That nurture is more important.
And
How
like,
you're brought up.
I love that line where like they've got everyone sitting down in the living room, and she's like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "We're Americans." Like I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like there's a
Yeah.
lot going on like in that movie with like you said, nature versus nurture, and
I think
how people
class
are related.
divide
Yeah.
is a big part of it as well.
which I was thoroughly enjoying.
Yeah.
because he definitely does have some like classist tones
Absolutely.
throughout this movie.
Like the
100%.
switcheroo, like you're talking about, it's like, okay, because they switched, like, is the one from the underground facility now a good person? And is the, like, original, like, good little girl is she now a bad person? Just
Mhm.
because,
Well, like one of the things they were saying in the movie was that these like clones or doppelgangers like don't have souls or whatever. Like they don't have personality or
husks.
basically.
They're just shells.
Yeah.
driven by like basic primal instinct.
But like, is it they actually don't have that, or is it because of their surroundings? Because they're in like a lab.
Because they don't have the
Right.
sky, they don't have like dance, like interpretive dance and all that kind of stuff.
Like they don't
They
learn
don't have
social
culture,
skills
yeah.
and certain things like that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
It's interesting.
They go through the motions of life, but they don't actually like. There's no joy.
They don't live.
Fuck, man.
Fuck.
Heel, you're the best.
I don't know. It's like just seeing that like ballerina scene where like Red is dancing, obviously as a ballerina on stage performing, and then like her doppelganger is dancing underground, but like knows like, oh, this is ballet, and puts on the leotard, and everyone's like, she's like all the tethered are like
Chosen one.
she's special, she's the chosen one. It's like yeah, because she understands that like this is ballet from her being a child, but she's not like she's not doing anything. She's just following. She's being tethered, but she's interpreting that as like, oh, this is what this is, and I was like, holy fuck, and then she kind of develops that like, oh shit, like I know what's going on, even if like we and Lupita Nyong'o's character, who we really should find out her name, like that's
Lupita.
Lupita.
It's character.
And I think at the end of the movie when they're driving away in the ambulance,
Mhm.
and she looks at her son,
Adelaide Wilson.
Adelaide. Come on, guys.
like I said, Lupita Nyong'o's
Yeah.
character, when she's looking at her son, I think her son knows that like she's not.
Oh, he knows.
Because like there's something weird about him too, right? And
Little
I don't know.
freak.
There's something weird about him, for
Oh, yeah.
sure. 100%.
I think he noticed when she scissor stabs the girl in the house when she goes back for the keys, right?
Mhm.
And he's just like,
Because she had a massive grunt then when she did that.
yeah, and she like said
She made a
like, was
guttural
primal.
noise.
Yes.
Yeah, and looked very satisfied, too satisfied.
What do you guys think about the whole UNICEF like holding hands thing?
Well, because that's the one thing that she knew as a kid, right?
That's what
Watching
she
that
remembered
television commercial
before.
before
That's
she
just-
went under.
She just remembered that. So then
Well,
That's it. Well, that's
they
her
I mean,
hold
mission.
their hands.
If
know?
if you were like kidnapped as a kid and placed underground with a bunch of crazy people, you'd probably try to hold on to whatever
A hand.
bit of life that you remember.
It's creative. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. It's creative.
Well, she was different, right? She rallied everyone else. She had a better idea of what was going on down there. So she gave everyone a mission, and then they went outside, stabbed everyone, and carried out their mission.
and they just held hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty beautiful,
Yeah,
actually.
that's
That
great.
they
It's quite
killed all those
touching.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under all those tunnels across the entire
World.
from San Francisco to
The
New
tunnel.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What was
Stretching all across the states.
my favorite joke? Like my laugh out loud moment in the theater was when they go to the neighbors when Duke Wilson or
Winston
Duke. I don't know.
Duke Wilson.
I just say names.
Slade
He
Wilson.
convinced me.
Limps up to the house that like there's obviously murders going on, and he just like knocks on the door. I lost it. I don't know why it was so funny to me, but just the way of like
I
just the
agree.
thought process. But I was like losing my mind.
A lot of his
So many funny.
a lot of his
moments in
dialogue
this
was
movie.
great.
Yeah.
I think that might be what made it less scary because the constant undercutting the tension with like jokes.
Right.
Like they're constantly pointing out the absurdity of like when Lupita's like, "No, I'm gonna drive," and they're like, she's like, "What? I have the highest kill count. I killed 2."
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, "I killed 1." Dad's like, "I killed 1 too."
Yeah,
Okay, so
that was pretty
one,
funny.
2.
Which is
Yeah.
great. Like it was funny, but like it's so hard to be actually genuinely scary and genuinely funny. It's like borderline impossible.
Yeah. I don't know if I was scared. I thought it was
Like I was
interesting.
never scared. I was interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like I was feeling suspense. I was like, oh, shit, no.
Yeah, like what's gonna happen? But
I'm
yeah,
not
I didn't get
scared.
that terror that they kind of
Like Hereditary or something.
yeah,
Like there's no like horror.
definitely.
Like I'm not afraid to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Like Hereditary, I was.
Mhm.
It ruined me.
I can see that.
Ruins what I
Ari
could have been,
Aster.
man.
Jesus Christ.
That was the Grudge for me.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That fucked me
Don't
up.
hold a grudge, bro.
They fucked me up.
2 days of something
Unlike
lights on
Teal.
after the grudge.
Yeah, unlike Peely.
Yeah,
Pele.
Pele. Soundtrack and score was fire.
Mhm.
Just throwing that
Soundtrack
out
was
there.
great.
I love the orchestral. I got 5 on it at the end.
Yeah.
Like during the fight. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
it's so good.
I loved.
Yeah,
What was the name? Who was the white friend they met at the beach? What was
Elizabeth Moss and Tim Heidecker.
Tim Heidecker? They
Hilarious.
like when he came out of the house, like when he was the doppelganger, and like he goes and steps on like Kate Moss's hand, like it's just, like, he was still a dick. Like even though he
Right.
was the doppelganger, he was still a dick, which I
Because
loved.
they had the same soul,
Very
man.
funny.
That well,
Allegedly.
Yeah.
They're
Doppel-
tethered.
Yeah.
but I just thought that was funny. That's just like it's the same. Like it's like a totally different person. It's a doppelganger, but he's still the same guy. Which I thought.
Similar, personality.
Yeah, ever having never met anyone, like any real people, he just still acts like a douchebag.
I can still see Elizabeth Moss's face, like screaming silently
Oh,
yeah.
when her husband died. Like that image is like burned into my like.
She's
Yeah.
great.
She
That was
fantastic.
amazing.
Like the shot
yeah.
of her, well, there was a shot like of her. It was like silent. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
she's
like,
looking
she's
out
like-
the window.
She's but
But
you can
it
tell
turns
she's
into a
like,
laugh. But it turns into a laugh.
Yeah.
That's
right?
so fucked up.
yeah.
Like amazing.
I thought that was kind of weird. It seemed like
That
the
was
more
hot.
they talked to their doppelganger, the more their doppelganger was able to talk. Did you guys catch that? Like as like Lupita Nyong'o was talking to hers because she was actually
She's the
She
only one
knew
that
it.
can talk though.
yeah. But like the other ones just didn't do anything. And then once they started like reacting with like their true people, like they started actually becoming
They
more.
were bonding.
Yeah.
Like Winston Duke putting on the glasses,
Mhm.
and obviously Jason, the son, like walking backwards
Yeah.
and burning his doppelganger, which I thought was amazing.
It kind of reminded me of like the Annihilation kind of thing. You know, the two of them getting kind of in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a Legend of Zelda. Like that's how you beat the boss.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
The boss is like a mirror image of you, and you have to like
Step
Kill
backwards.
yourself?
into the yeah.
I thought one of them, like I thought it was gonna end with Lupita like killing herself. Like once they set up the kid walking backwards and his guy going into the fire.
Right.
I thought one of them was gonna like kill himself and then mirror image it. But I'm happy they didn't. Again, they zigged when I thought they would zag. Yeah.
Well,
It's
I
us,
think
though.
that'll do it for our review of us. Phil, where can people find
You
you?
can find me on Letterboxd at Wicked Swami. Just uploading stuff all the time. That's my name. Don't laugh.
You can find Wicked Swami. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Up Real Ty.
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and on Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. As well, if you like this video, leave a comment on it, leave a like on it as well, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. As always, keep it real.